Support for UW360 is provided by the Labor Archives of Washington. Learn more about researching at the Labor Archives and donating collections at laborarchives.org.
All of our workers, from coast to coast, need at least $15 an hour.
It's an idea that is both heavily supported.
I would not raise the minimum.
Seattle shouldn't have to do this.
And an idea that has been criticized.
All parking lot attendants disappeared and McDonald's rolled out self-automation burger machines.
I hate to say it, but we have to leave it the way it is.
The $15 minimum wage, that the first time in the entire country where it was passed through a ballot measure was in SeaTac. And that's really exciting, right? It didn't occur in a big city like New York City or Los Angeles, but it happened in a little town right near an airport.
Today, Riddhi Mehta-Neugebauer is interviewing grad student activist and writer for The Daily, Palmquist, for the SeaTac in Seattle Minimum Wage History Project.
I just have this thirst to find out as much information that is really critical to the success of historic movements and trying to document and record that.
Rod's interview will be added to the project's collection of stories behind the start of the minimum wage campaign in SeaTac and how it began to spread.
We interviewed over 60 people who were involved in the campaign. Some were advocates, some were opponents. We also put together a timeline that catalogs the evolution of the minimum wage across the country.
I'm beyond ecstatic and beyond words that the Supreme Court ruled that we get 15.
You can't go forward without having somebody from restaurants involved in the process, because restaurant employees are typically paid below the minimum wage, or below $15.
So I think these stories are important to collect because labor typically doesn't have time to reflect and think about what they've just done.
I think it's collaborate or fail. That we are in this together, and so it was sort of an 11th hour victory that we reached.
I think it's very important to have that moment and take that time to collect the varying perspectives and try to process them and try to listen to them and try to understand, well, what were some of the larger lessons that could be learned from this?
Here's what I can promise you, is that the economy of the future will be different than the economy of the past, and worker power will take a different form in the future than it took in the past.
Other cities, Los Angeles, for instance, New York, the presidential campaigns are talking about how viable 15 would be. So it's really great and really exciting to think about that this all started right here, and that we were able to capture some of those stories and some of those narratives in the web archive as well.